It has been a long time coming, but tonight we are finally looking at the boy who is hiding a big secret. He can secretly transform into a dragon. Yes, it's American dragon Jake Long. The show that follows Jake Long, who lives in Manhattan and must balance ordinary normal life with the ability to change into a dragon. The show aired on the Disney Channel from 2005 to 2007 with 52 episodes being made. The show was famous for its opening theme called The Chosen One, which was performed by the Jonas Brothers. There are many different characters we meet along the way. So now that we have the background, let's take a look at the first few episodes. First up we have old school training. So we see Jake, Food Dog, and some old man who is telling Jake about the city and how him alone is responsible for all the magical creatures in the city, as we see many different creatures. Food Dog says if he can make it here he can make it anywhere, as Jake is ready for the challenge, as the old man then butts in. He tells Jake to master his dragon powers one step at a time, as Jake then transforms into the dragon as he shows off. He flies off as he is very cocky. He then falls as he holds onto the ledge. He calls for help as the old man isn't happy. So at night, Grandpa is explaining more about the dragon as he spits words at Jake as he transforms bit by bit. Jake says he has it under control, as Grandpa says Jake must listen to him, as Food Dog then smells something. He says it is the huntsman as he then reveals some footprints. Jake can't believe it as Grandpa explains he comes out during a full moon, as Food Dog explains he is after the unicorns. So we see the huntsman looking at the unicorns as he goes after them. Jake watches on as Grandpa says Jake must do the job alone, as Jake says he can do it. He dashes off as Food Dog cheers him on. So the huntsman heads towards the unicorns as Jake then tries to spit fire at him, but it goes wrong and he attacks his own team. Jake says sorry as his back is on fire. He jumps into the water as the huntsman then attacks Jake. He tries to transform, but the huntsman hits him as he then becomes the dragon. All of a sudden a hunt girl comes out and attacks Jake. The huntsman is impressed as Jake is knocked out, but he gets back up and fights as he loses to the hunt girl as he is then in his pants. Suddenly Grandpa comes out and saves the day as the hunt people disappear. Food Dog says it wasn't the worst loss he has experienced, as he explains he lost to some other creatures. Grandpa gives him some wise words as he says he has training right after school tomorrow as they walk off. So at school the teacher is going on as he talks about dragons. He then asks Jake for an answer as Jake says dragons have large brains, as the teacher is happy with that answer. He tells Jake to write down the answers as some other kid then chimes in. She asks how the teacher knows everything about the creatures, as the teacher explains he knows everything as he shouts a lot. He then gets angry as the kids can't believe it. The bell then rings as everyone dashes off. So Jake meets his friends outside school as they say they are heading over to the park to skate as they want Jake to join. Jake says he is busy tonight as the friends can't believe it. Jake says goodbye as he skates off backwards. He bumps into a cute girl as he falls in love. He spots her tattoo as they then go their separate ways as Jake likes her. So Grandpa is waiting for Jake as Jake then arrives in style. Jake can't believe he is late as Grandpa is angry as the huntsman watches on. Hunt's girl arrives as she takes a look. They laugh away as Jake wants to know what they're doing today as Grandpa makes him clean the toilet. Jake is shocked as Grandpa makes him use his dragon's tongue. Jake is confused as Grandpa reminds him of what he said as Jake then gets to work. So Jake then tidies up as he does a lot of chores for Grandpa. So Jake then hears his friends having fun as Food Dog says the toilet needs a re-wash as Jake is annoyed. Grandpa then says training is over for the day as Jake gets mad at him. Food Dog tells Jake to listen to Grandpa as Jake then tells Mom Grandpa is mad as she calls her daughter in to cut the food. Jake moans some more about Grandpa as Dad then comes in singing. He says he has done amazing at work as he shows off some milk as the daughter shows off some music. Jake asks if Mom is ever going to tell Dad he is married to reptiles as Mom then lies. Dad gets scared by a fake spider as Jake is then brushing his teeth. Mom then comes in and talks to Jake as Mom says it is important to master the dragon powers. So at school the next day Jake sees the girl again as he then does a dream sequence of all the fun things he will do with Rose as it is a bit silly. Jake then wakes up as Trixie says Rose is so far out of his league as Spud agrees as they go off to skate once more. Jake says he is busy as Spud can't believe it. Trixie tries to get Jake to change his mind as Jake says no, so some fairy then delivers the mail as it is Grandpa. He is shouting and moaning as he wants Jake to get to training. Jake then changes his mind as Grandpa can't believe Jake is late for training as Food Dog is sick. The Hunt people arrive as Grandpa transforms and gets into a fight. The Hunt people capture Grandpa as Food Dog can't believe it. They then figure out Food Dog is in the bathroom as he then flushes himself down the toilet. So at the skate park, Jake and his friends are having fun as Food Dog is walking through the sewers. He then bumps into a troll as he then remembers the troll from before. As they catch up, Food Dog says he is in trouble as the troll helps him. So Jake arrives home as Mom tells Jake to wash up as she goes in to serve the food. Food Dog arrives as he asks where Jake was as Jake says he hates Grandpa as Food Dog says he doesn't understand as he explains Grandpa has been kidnapped. Jake can't believe it as he then transforms into his dragon form. Food Dog gets on him as they fly off as Dad is trying to present to his clients as Mom makes up more lies. So the Hunt people ask where Jake is as Jake then arrives. He says something stupid as the Hunt girl then fights Jake once more. Food Dog then calls someone to make a bet as Jake then defeats the girl. The water goes everywhere as the huntsman then shoots at him too. Jake spins the net back at the huntsman as Jake captures him. The girl then attacks as Jake tries to take her down. The huntsman then gets up and attacks as Jake then farts him away. The girl dashes off as Grandpa is saved as Jake is in his underwear once more. Everyone says Jake was great as Grandpa tells him no flirting with the bad guy as he says there will be more training tomorrow as Jake says he will be there as they walk home. Jake talks a lot as Grandpa says he needs his laundry done as the episode then ends on that note. Next up we have Dragon Breath. So in the sewers, creatures are coming out of it as the gang arrive. Jake wonders what is down in the sewers as Jake is scared of the sewers as Grandpa says he must go down there as Food Dog pushes him down. Someone screams as Jake is scared. He then gets hit as he worries about his face. Jake then transforms as he fights the creature. He breaks the water pipe as the creature is then scared off. Jake comes out of the sewers as he is happy. Grandpa says it will be back as he walks off. So Trixie is talking to Jake about how it is that time of year again as they talk about the dance. Trixie says she is taking Spud as they say they will be wearing matching shirts as Trixie then smells something. She then asks Jake who he is going to bring to the dance as Jake says Rose. Spud says he better get a move on as everyone wants to take Rose as he then falls over. Trixie then points out Rose as Jake goes over as he then bumps into a locker. Rose checks if he is okay as Jake then asks her out. Rose says she is going with Brad as Jake is upset. Jake then lies and says he is bringing some amazing girl as Rose walks off. His friends say they are here for him as Jake says he needs to find someone to bring as Spud then says he can dress up. Trixie says no as she then says Jake smells. So Jake then asks some girls out as it doesn't go well. The school then gets evacuated as Jake can't believe it. So at Grandpa's shop, he is explaining the bad breath will last for 2 weeks as Jake can't believe it. He says he has stuff to do as Grandpa wants to know what creature was in the sewer as they talk about some unicorn. Food Dog then grabs Jake as he creates something for Jake. He puts it on as he says Jake's bad breath will be gone as Jake hugs Food Dog as Food Dog says he can help with his date as they get on a train as they talk about how to get all the ladies. So they head to Magicville as we then see people flogging stuff as Food Dog shows Jake around. Food Dog introduces Jake to some girl as Jake then tries to flirt with the girl. She is then revealed to be part spider as Jake can't believe it. Food Dog says what is wrong as Jake is annoyed with Food Dog. Food Dog then shows off some twins as Jake goes to charm them. Food Dog explains everything as Jake is then scared off the twins as they are able to tell the future. Jake doesn't pick either of them as they then spot another girl. Food Dog says some of the girls are dangerous as he then gets captured by some trolls. Jake then chats up the girl as the girl says she has to be back home, so can't make the dance as Jake then spots Food Dog in trouble. Jake and the trolls fight as Food Dog is then saved. Jake says he has a date with Jasmine as her eyes then glow. So at home Jake's parents are taking a lot of pictures as Jake is annoyed. Dad wants to remove the necklace as Jake says no. Suddenly the door rings as the daughter answers it. It is Jasmine as she wants to know where Jake is. The daughter tries to put Jasmine off Jake as Jake then pushes her away. Mom takes more pictures as they rush off. Mom then spots Jasmine's red eyes as at the dance Trixie says she isn't going to dance with Spud as Jake arrives. He introduces them to Jasmine as they then go off to dance. So Grandpa is telling a fairy he doesn't have any information about the creature yet as he tries to fix a camera. He then spots the red eyes as he explains she is a creature as Jasmine is trying to get home as she says the moon reaches the sky at that point as Jake is trying to make Rose jealous. Brad falls in love as all the other men also fall in love with Jasmine. Jake then dances as the moon comes out. Jake shows off as Jasmine rushes off as Brad tries to flirt with Jasmine. Her eyes glow as Jake is showing off. Trixie points out Brad is dancing with Jasmine as Jake then spots Rose sitting at the table alone as he goes over to her. Jake and Rose dance together as Jasmine gets angry. She sucks his soul out as Jasmine then goes around and sucks more souls out. Jake then figures out what is happening as he can't believe it. Jake tells Trixie to not let Spud dance with Jasmine as Spud is already gone. Trixie is annoyed as Jake goes under the table. He calls Food Dog as Jake explains Jasmine is acting freaky. Food Dog can't believe it as Grandpa explains everything. Food Dog tells Jake to get Jasmine out of there as Jasmine then transforms into a creature. Everyone can't believe it as she takes more souls. Food Dog whips up a potion as Jake turns into a dragon once more. The creature attacks Jake as they get into a fight. Food Dog and Grandpa then arrive as Food Dog gives Jake some potion. Jake drinks it by mistake as he loses all his powers. Grandpa is under Jasmine's control as Jake goes to fight Jasmine once more. Jake takes off his necklace as his bad breath scares off Jasmine. She then releases all the souls as everything goes back to normal. Grandpa takes Jasmine away as everyone can't believe what happened. Jake gets back on the decks as everyone then smells his breath and heads off. So Jake heads off as Rose wants to talk to him as she thanks him for the dance as Jake then falls out the door. Jake is then talking to Jasmine as she is saying sorry for everything as she goes home. Trixie and Spud's souls have been swapped as the episode then ends on that crazy note. Finally we have the talented Mr. Long. So we see a cup as people are fighting for the special cup as it is passed around as everyone fights for it. The narrator explains it has been through a lot of history as we then see some people get into a fight as they lose the cup in a factory as it then becomes a trophy. So the gang are looking at some school trophy as Spud talks about the school talent show as Trixie and Jake don't believe he can win as the teacher then spots the trophy as he laughs a lot as he can't believe it is the special cup. Everyone looks at him strange as Spud is then looking for something in his locker. He finds his magic kit as Trixie can't believe him. Jake agrees as they recap on what happened in previous years. Spud tries to defend himself as Trixie isn't happy. Spud says it is a dream of his as his grandpa was a magician. Spud then talks about his catchphrase as Jake is confused. Spud says he must win as Jake agrees to help. Spud can't believe it as we then see some guy sneak into school as he steals the trophy. He gets caught by the guards as he then takes the wrong trophy. The guards are confused as the bad guy then runs off. So Spud is doing some magic as Trixie picks the wrong card. The guards talk away as Jake listens in. They talk about the trophy as the principal says she is hiding the trophy in some safe from now on as we then see the teacher. He is very tired as all the kids laugh at him. The teacher comes over to Brad as he gets angry with him. He takes away his freedom to play football as Spud is then doing another trick as it doesn't go well. All the books go everywhere as Trixie is angry. Jake then spots the trophy in a book as he then takes it to his grandpa. Grandpa explains everything as he then shows off some magical scroll as he explains some creature will come out of the cup when it is full up. Jake asks how to get it back in as Grandpa says it is impossible. Food Dog butts in as they say it must have been the teacher. They say they have to get the cup before the teacher does as Jake then sneaks into the principal's office as he goes to look for the cup. The teachers come in unannounced as the principal is confused on why the teacher is so interested in the cup as Jake is on the ceiling. The principal says the next person to hold it will be the winner of the talent show as the teacher then drinks up. Jake tries to get a bug off his face as it then lands on the principal's desk. Jake then transforms back as the principal says she didn't hear Jake come in. Jake says he only came in for the bug as he is acting all strange. So at the shop, Grandpa says he must enter the talent show as Jake says he can't because he wants Spud to win, but Food Dog explains they can't let the teacher get the trophy. Grandpa demands Jake to enter the talent show as Jake can't believe it, so we see the teacher failing everyone as Brad then comes in as the teacher is annoyed. He offers Brad an extra credit thing as he says Brad can play the piano very well. So at the talent show rehearsal, someone is being a farmer as it is very confusing. Spud can't believe it as Trixie doesn't want to wear the dress Spud gave her. Jake then arrives as Jake then announces he is going to enter the talent show as well. Trixie and Spud can't believe it as Jake tries to defend himself. The friends storm off as we then see some kid play the triangle. We then see Jake do a puppet show with Food Dog as the teacher then demands Brad to be better as he then pushes him on. The teacher says Jake was rubbish as Food Dog gets angry with the teacher. Jake packs Food Dog away as the teacher says Brad will be amazing as he then plays horribly. So Brad is walking home as the teacher then pulls up. He can't believe how bad Brad was as he demands Brad to get the trophy, otherwise he will fail the class as Brad says he will get the trophy. So Food Dog is telling more jokes as Jake is upset. Trixie then comes in as she spots Food Dog speaking. Jake asks what is going down as Trixie then says Spud is upset. Jake says he has to do the talent show as Trixie says he has to drop out as Jake declines. Jake gets annoyed as Grandpa then comes out and says some wise words. Grandpa says he will face many difficult decisions during his life and as the American Dragon he has to make the best decisions for the world. So at the official talent show, the principal calls the first student as the farmer goes off once again. Some pig knocks him over as Brad says he released the pig, so the other acts go poorly as Brad has tampered with them. So Spud is getting ready as he can't find his rabbit. Trixie is annoyed as Brad shouts at Spud, so Food Dog talks to Jake as Brad then comes over and says the principal said they have to wait upstairs as Jake can't believe it. So they head upstairs as Brad throws Food Dog into the toilet as he locks them in. Food Dog is stuck as Jake tries to pull him out. So Brad plays away as everyone hates his performance as it is then Spud's turn. Jake finally pulls Food Dog out of the toilet as he then transforms into his dragon form as he causes chaos. The water leaks everywhere as Jake is out for the count. He then wakes up as he breaks down the door as he rushes to the judge's desk as he then spots the cup full of water. He kicks it away as everyone can't believe it. It lands in Spud's hat as the genie then comes out and starts attacking everyone. Everyone is cheering as Jake then fights the genie. The teacher can't believe it as he snitches to the principal. The principal doesn't believe him as he then gets crushed. Jake fights the genie some more as everyone is then shocked. The genie defeats Jake as Spud is trying to use his magic. He spits his catchphrase as the genie then disappears. Everyone cheers as Jake is happy. The principal calls Jake to the stage as Spud reminds Jake about Brad as Jake then walks onto stage and says he is out of the competition. The principal then announces that Spud has won the talent show as he gets the trophy, so Jake and Food Dog walk home as his friends come over and thank him. Trixie says the puppet is scary as Spud then gives Jake the trophy. So back in the shop, Food Dog is celebrating the victory as Grandpa says he picked the right road for a friend as Jake and Food Dog then say they lost the cup as it ends up in some woman's butt. The episode ends on that note. In conclusion, do I like American Dragon Jake Long? Not really. While it was an alright show and very action-packed, it just didn't really connect with me and that's why I put it off for so long because when I watched this as a kid, I just didn't get it. I do like some aspects of show and Food Dog was very funny as he is played by the very talented John DiMaggio. But overall I am going to have to pass on this one. While it is part of the Disney family, it just didn't stand up with other classics of the time, to me at least. So sorry folks if you like this one, it's just not my cup of tea. So thank you for watching. If you have any TV shows you like to see me do, put them in the comments.